Hello, BookTube. I've got some mail for you today on a boiling hot Friday afternoon in early October in New England. Uh, no real way to avoid the heat and humidity. You try to get all your errands done first thing, but of course always lots of stuff to be done. It's just the way of it. That's all. It's just autumn in New England. I mean, autumn in New England from time immemorial has always included heat stroke warnings for children wearing costumes on Halloween. Anyway, we've got a couple of packages here. It's not a large mail haul, but I thought the smallness of it might be conducive to me doing what I have been promising to do in the last few mail hauls and not mostly doing, which is talking about these things professionally. From the status of the book chat world, I've just been oohing and ahhing over them instead. So let's look at these two and see what they are. See what we would be making of them, not just as books, but also possibly as submissions, as pitches to an editor. Uh, okay, well, this one comes out in early November, so that's probably out of the running for a pitch for a book if this is the first time you're seeing it. I didn't get the advance copy of this. But I'm happy to see it. This is Big Breath In by John Straley, who is fantastic. He is an undiscovered gem of a murder mystery writer. People don't know enough. Not enough people that I know that like the genre know anything about him. Uh, let's see here. Inspired by his wife's renowned work in marine ecology, John Straley's new heartfelt and luminous crime thriller follows a retired field biologist with terminal cancer whose amateur sleuthing skills help her investigate a child trafficking ring in Washington State, after a fateful encounter. Before he became an acclaimed novelist behind the Cecil Younger mysteries and the Cold Storage novels are incredibly good. They're incredibly entertaining. John Straley had a career as a criminal defense investigator in Alaska, during which he and his marine biologist wife Jan teamed up to create their own firm. The two worked for hire on cases brought to them by lawyers, while Jan's first-hand observations and research on whales and their changing migration patterns in Alaskan waters made her notable in her own right. Alas, the joint venture was brief. While Jan's research was highly regarded, an old boys culture in academia, only exacerbated by her husband's presence at conferences, along with some of John's own misunderstandings of her work, made the occupational partnership a precarious one. John and Jan parted ways professionally, not without a few laughs. In this new standalone crime thriller, this is exactly what this author needs. A couple of really good standalone books. Uh, uh, Straley conjures up a fictional, surreal last hurrah of a case that pays homage to Jan's exceptional skills and the couple's shared investigative passions and their storied past. Featuring motorcycle pursuits through the woods and mountain ranges of the Pacific Northwest, thoughtful passages on the enigmatic ways of whales and humans form kinships, and prose both lyrical and vulnerable, this book is a thoroughly moving, singular work of fiction that is at once crime story, scientific inquiry, and metafictional love letter. Okay, fantastic. It sounds like it's going to be a little bit different from any of the stuff that I've read from this author, but I really cannot recommend him strongly enough. This comes out, the release date is November 12th. So if you're just seeing this for the first time, well, first of all, if you're an editor and you're just seeing this for the first time, you will probably already have your November coverage locked in. So you're not going to be adding this to it unless you've got some sort of lively electronic only presence, which every review should have, I think. A few of the remaining paying book editors, art section editors, when approached, well, I've approached them, with the idea of, well, how about you don't have any room in your lineup for a review of this book, but what if I were to write it and we would run it on the website? And most of the reviewers that I've talked to, especially in really good, solid legacy positions, their response was always the same, which is, if it's website only, we won't pay for it, and I don't want to take work from you that I'm not paying for. I don't know, the line between those two things, the online world where everybody generates content all the time, paid or not paid, and the old legacy world where you get paid by the line or by the word or just a flat fee for a piece. the line between those worlds seems to me to be blurry in the 21st century. But if you don't have that, if you don't have any option of that, if you're just dealing with a print section, I doubt you're going to work this into your lineup. So if you're a would-be freelance reviewer and you want to write about this, as you should, because John Straley's fantastic, you would have had to got the galley copy of this probably in August, something like that. I don't think we did, if I remember correctly. We've never seen this before, but I might be remembering that wrong. But you would have to have acted on it then. The finished copy now would do precious little good, except for reading, because you absolutely should read this author. Then we'll move on to this next one. Let's see what we have here. All right, this one is paperback, so it could be further in time. Let's see here. Yeah, this is further in time. This comes out in April of 2025, so plenty of time. In fact, more than enough time, because you don't want to pitch something for April to a book section editor or an arts editor of any kind. You don't want to do that. In October, you don't want to pitch anything for April. So this is by Sean Hewitt, and it is called Open Heaven. And this is alarming, a little bit foreboding. Is 2025 going to be the return of ugly covers? Well, I'd hope not. We've been so well treated with covers lately in the last couple of years. But let's see here. Trapped in a remote northern English village, well, yes, James dreams of another life. Beholden to the expectations of home and family, his burgeoning desire, an ache for autonomy, tenderness, and sex, threatens to unravel his shy exterior. Enter Luke, unkempt and handsome, charismatic and brash, sent to live with his aunt and uncle on a farm just outside the same village James yearns to escape. Thrust suddenly together, James unlocks a bruising passion, a terrifying first love that will transform his life forever. Okay, a bit of a grammatical error there. It's James and Luke who are thrust suddenly together, not just James alone. So this is something for the gays. This is gay fiction. Okay, fantastic. All sorts of specialist outlets for gay fiction that you have time enough to explore now. None of them are going to want to hear. No one's going to want to hear about this book. No one's going to want to pitch for this, a discussion of it, a mention of it at all until well into the new year, until the middle of January at the earliest. Cue ear-piercing siren. Every single video. What was I saying before the ear-piercing siren? That has not existed. I've read for 8 hours on this couch today, except for when I'm filming, where it's so loud I have to stop the video. Anyway, where was I? Before the ear-piercing siren that was not for an emergency. It was just to blow through a red light. Oh, right. This is gay fiction. There are specialist gay venues, but no one, specialist or otherwise, is going to want to hear anything about this now. So if you get an advanced copy, if maybe you have a NetGalley copy or something like that, don't bother with it. Put it on your calendar for later in the year, for next year. But let's see, who is Sean Hewitt when he's at home? An award-winning poet, biographer, and memoirist of works including All Down Darkness Wide, 300,000 Kisses. He lives in Dublin, where he teaches at Trinity College, and Open Heaven is his first novel. This is his debut. Fantastic. Okay, so this is a floppy advance copy. This comes out as a $28 hardcover in the middle of April. Great. Fantastic. So we have two pieces of fiction. One, a writer that I know really well. I've read almost everything that he's written. And the other, debut novelist. Fantastic. So this is the advance copy. This is half a year away from when the book appears. So it doesn't yet have a Garth Greenwell blurb, which it has to have. You are by law commanded to have a blurb from the Pope of gay fiction, or you can't bring your book to press. so it doesn't have that yet, but it will. It will. So I don't have to think about this either. This is next year, so I don't have to worry about it. One of them I have to think about, the other one I don't. And that's it. That is just very brief mail. and an ear-piercing siren. So I will wrap this up for now and go back to peace and quiet. The sirens only happen when I film. But anyway, I don't want to obsess about it or anything. I'll wrap this up, but I'll be back. Thank you, BookTube.